Guys, welcome back to another episode of my F1 2016 mobile career mode. So, today we are here for the Russian Grand Prix at the Sochi Autodrome. The previous one was the Chinese Grand Prix, which was a really good race for us. If you haven't checked out that video, go check that out. The link will be in the description below, as well as you can click on the top right hand side. So, we came in P5. I think that's what 10 points, I think 8 or 10 points. So, pretty good one for us because the Bahrain Grand Prix can't really say that was a good one for us. We came in 12th place. We got no points for our team. But now we are 6th in the standings overall, where generally there are Ferraris and Red Bulls at that time because Red Bull wasn't as good as what they are now. So we also got our first rival, who is Bottas. We are currently fighting the 6th place in the championship. He's only 2 points behind us, so he'll be chasing after us, and we need to keep a lookout for him. But Red Bull of where is Ricardo? He has only scored 3 points so far. So a horrible season for him until now. I mean, it's only 3 races. Anything can happen. And we are currently P5, just behind Williams in the constructors. So if our teammate can pull off some miracles in this race, I think that would be really good for us. So we can actually get ahead of Williams and be the best of the rest. We'll not be able to catch the top 3 in this season. So let's get into the race. So I'm gonna do the practice off camera so you can get directly into the qualifying. So now, moving on to qualifying, it shouldn't really be a problem for us to move out of Q1 because Russia has been a circuit which I am good at and equally bad at. So we're gonna go on the super soft. I'm kind of not leaning towards the top speed too much because our car is pretty good in the straight line because we have that Mercedes power unit in the back, but also because our car is really understeer as you saw in the first corner when we were starting our lap, and we are already going off track, so you can see not good signs there. But the main thing I'm hoping for today is beating Bottas in qualifying, because if we can start ahead of him, we can actually get the jump on him and beat him in the race. The Williams fight in the constructors is also pretty interesting because our teammate is not doing anything, and while Bottas and Massa are scoring points almost every race. So we need to step up our game and be consistent basically, and we need to get that momentum going into the Spanish Grand Prix. So let's see what we can do in qualifying here. So we come to the last couple of corners and we cross the line and we make it into Q2. I thought it would be much more easier to get into Q2 and not just P16. But unfortunately, I think our teammate is out once again. So I don't think he'll be doing He's last. So yeah, can't really do anything right there. But I tell you, what we can do is get a really good result in Q2 as well as Q1. Maybe even get into the top 5 in Q3 and get into Q3. Obviously, that will be pretty hard because we were last, technically the last place where I could qualify for Q2. So it will be interesting to see if we can actually make it into Q3 and be ahead of both the Williams. We really do need to qualify both of them because they have the race pace to beat me in the race and maybe increase the gap they have in the constructors, and maybe Bottas can close up to be in the drivers championship. But I am mainly concentrating on focusing on beating Bottas because he is our rival in the drivers championship. So let's see what we can do. We're gonna come through the last couple of corners. Let's see where we are. It was a pretty good lap, and we again just make it into Q3. So yeah, we're just like climbing on the edge right there. So but we made it into Q3, and look where Bottas is. He's in 11th, so we beat him. We have out qualified him. He doesn't make it into Q3. We make it into Q3, and so that's one good thing for us. And where's Massa? Yeah, he's in P8 right now, but we can maybe have a chance to beat him in Q3. So let's get into Q3. So now we are moving on to Q3, and I can feel the understeer kicking in right now. It wasn't so much in Q1 and 2, but now I'm feeling it. I don't know why. So, and Massa is qualified in P9. So, if we can even gain one position, that will be very essential in our race. Russia hasn't been that much of an interesting race anyway. It's quite a boring circuit. It's just straights and sharp corners, but we need to make the most of this race because this can be a crucial point of tipping the seesaw basically. And I was thinking about going off a more of a gaining that downforce, but then I thought no, there's a lot of straights and I need to gain that time. So I did take a lot of curb there, so that must have slowed us down. But we are actually almost a second faster than Massa in the first sector. So we come through for a lap in Q3 and let's see where will we be. And we are P9, just ahead of Massa. So like I was saying, just gaining one position can be essential in the race. So let's see how it goes. We are ahead of both of the Williams, so very good for us. Both the Williams are 10 and 11 and Groja coming in 12th. Then the both Toro Rossos and the top is obviously I think Rosberg's on pole, followed by Hamilton, and then one of the Ferraris. I guess I didn't actually see right there. No, it's Ricardo is third. Okay, so maybe he's making a bit of a comeback. You never really know. So now let's get into the race and see what we can do there. Now, as for the tire strategy we'll be using is I think we'll go on 5 laps or 5 6 laps on the soft super soft tires and we are gonna go for 8 or 8 7 8 laps on the soft tires depending on the tire wear and we go to 5 red lights and it's lights out and we're underway for 13 laps around the Sochi Autodrome and it's a decent start for us. And it's a horrible start from Raikkonen. We jump him, we almost get the overtake on him and maybe even Perez, but Perez is so aggressive and Massa gets us. So a horrible start for us, but we are still in P9, but an amazing start from Massa. We go on the outside, just dancing the car around the onside, don't really need to make some contact. We almost bang into the Ferrari of Vettel and we lose so much speed and Massa is up into fourth. What a start from him. He's, his car is like a rocket ship. He went from P9 to P4. I've never seen AI be that aggressive. And Verstappen's trying to make a move on Massa. We are just gonna be watching with our popcorn right here. And Massa goes for the move on Vettel and makes it work. He's up into P3. And we are gonna go and try the outside on Verstappen, but he squeezes into the wall and we have to back out or else we would have just crashed. Now we are gonna try and go for the move on Vettel. No, and Verstappen actually loses his back end, and we almost lose a front wing going plowing into the back of Verstappen, and Ricardo comes out of nowhere, goes for the dive on outside. He has a bit of a twitch, and we have to break out of it. And Bottas is right behind us now. So what has happened? We have gone from P9 to P5, and then back to P7, now up into P6. And Massa he had a rocket start. He's up into P2 now. I think there's a Merc in P what 3? I think so. Yeah, he's in P up into P2. So this is what exactly what I did wanted a Williams in P2, and now Bottas is I think going to overtake Ricardo, and yes, he has. So now what a start from Massa. I just can't believe it. Moving on to later in the lap, nothing really has happened, and we go wide, which will give a chance to Bottas to overtake us. But he has a good exit. He squeezes into the wall, and he gets the overtake done. So Bottas is the Williams as a team are looking so quick here, and we come back at him. So he had a really poor exit right there. So, but the Williams are looking super quick, especially Massa. I don't know what they have put in their car, but they're going like rockets, and we have to brake as Verstappen has a poor exit off there again. I don't think we'll be able to catch Massa this race, but I think we can if we can manage to gain on Verstappen, maybe even overtake him and keep Bottas behind us as we try and go for the move. But Verstappen is all over the place. Even Vettel, I think that is the Ferrari of Vettel and we try and go for the dive. We break so late. I actually got distracted by something like that, and I have to go so wide, or I go off track. So Verstappen gains on us instead of us gaining on him and overtaking him. Now Bottas is right up our gearbox. He'll be looking to get an overtake done on us as Rosberg sets the fastest lap of the race. So now moving on to the start of lap number 3, we have DRS and we should be able to get Ricardo. Red Bull aren't really fast in 2016 in a straight line with that Honda powered engine, and we do get him. Our Mercedes power unit coming in handy right there. So now next up is Vettel. Maybe we can catch up to him and maybe even overtake. Now moving on to later in the lap, we do have a chance to overtake him, but Ricardo is right up our gearbox. But we are gonna catch up to Vettel with DRS. He has a huge twitch at the back end, and we get him on the DRS straight, and we're gonna pull away from him using that DRS we have, and now we have a little bit of gap to battle, but he's still gonna catch us, and we have a huge rear in twitch, and we almost go off the track. We almost spin our car, which allows Vettel to catch up to us. Now here he's right up our gearbox. He'll be looking to make a overtake going into the last couple of corners, but we are gonna defend successfully on the inside and not letting Vettel pass. When Ricardo catches up to him, I think Vettel lost his rear end because we have a gap of I think 1.3 seconds to him now. So within that couple of corners, he lost more than a second. And Massa is actually right up there in third place. So we had I think a 6 or 7 second gap to him. So maybe we can close that up in a couple of laps. Maybe before pitting we can be right up his gearbox. But he's looking so quick, and we do have the same engine, so it shouldn't be that much of a problem as so now moving on to the end of lap number 6, we are gonna come in this lap for our pit stop and maybe go for the undercut on Massa and the top three, mainly Massa because he's our kind of rival here. His team is fighting our team in the constructors, and we're gonna go on the soft compounded tire. And Ricardo came in too. For we're gonna go on the soft compounded tire for the next 6 or 7 laps, and I'm going to adjust my aerodynamics because I think we can get a bit more downforce because I did compromise my downforce for the top speed, but now I'm feeling that I can gain a bit more in the corners and make it work. So all we can do is now wait, and I'm still hesitant on what our setup should be. So I decided like we'll go in the middle but towards the top speed. A little bit of a slow pit stop, and Ricardo has jumped us. He has jumped us in the pits. So horrendous pit stop by our team. Some kind of AI glitch, I guess, every single race that happens. And Ricardo has managed to jump us. And a Haas of Grosjean, he's also ahead of us. He probably didn't pit, but he separates me and Ricardo. Actually, he doesn't. He overtaken Ricardo as he was coming out of the pit lane. So, well, what can I say? Now, all we can do is catch Ricardo as fast as possible. Now, moving on to lap number 7, or the same lap later in the lap, we have finally managed to catch up to Ricardo. So, we have DRS. We are going to use a slipstream, that Mercedes power unit, and we are going to overtake Ricardo. As simple as that. And we are going to gain a lot on him, actually, sorry, pull away from him using the DRS. And you can see we set a personal best sector right there, 8 tenths quicker than our fastest sector. So now Massa is in 8th. I think we did close up to him a little bit from that pit stop. And all we can do is just wait and be as quick as possible and catch Massa as quick as possible. I think now everybody will pit. We will actually be P5 or P4. Let's see what happens. Everybody has pitted, and that's Palmer ran off Palmer, and that's Bottas. I think he's coming out of the pit lane and he has come ahead of us. We try and go for a dive, it doesn't work. We made a little bit of contact, but he has managed to overcut us. So Bottas making miracles right here. He has overcut me and Massa. He has not overtaken Massa, but he has gained a lot of time to Massa because he was, I think, around 4 seconds ahead of us right now, but we get the better exit and try and go for the move. We go for the dive, we push him off the track. We are very aggressive. I really wanted to get ahead of him because he is our in game rival right now. But now we have finally overtaken Portas, so we can focus more on Massa right now. It's going to be hard catching up to him, but I think we can do it as we move on to later in the lap. And I think Alonso actually hasn't pitted, button, sorry. So, and we hit first of the back markers, which is Carlos Sainz at the Toro Rosso, and we get so much thrown off by him that we go wide and we lose a lot of time to him. And I think we have managed to undercut Vettel. So he comes in, or was it his second pit stop? Maybe he had damage, I'm not sure. But we have either undercut him, and there is Hamilton in P3. So where's Massa? Did he pit? I don't think so. I think he's in up into P2. That's not what we wanted. And Bottas is in P5. So our race is going pretty good. We're in P4 and we're going till the end. This is our on track position. We are going till the end. And I have to brake a bit because Hamilton also had a slow exit. We are going wide everywhere. So these mediums already showing a little bit of signs of tire wear, and the dirty air from Hamilton is hitting us a lot. So all now I'm focusing on defending against Bottas because it will be pretty hard to catch up to Hamilton. As you can see, he's much more faster than us. He goes wide and we have to brake. What happened to Hamilton? He lost his rear end again, which means that Bottas will catch up to us because we had to brake so hard and we go wide. And Bottas goes for a dive. He's on the inside and he gets the overtake done. So, as I was talking about defending against him, he has actually managed to overtake us. But we get him back with DRS. I don't know why we lost our DRS there, but now we have the slipstream. We're gonna go for a dive there, and we almost get Hamilton. So Hamilton is looking so slow today. We are almost managing to catch up to him. Me and Bottas, even though we are fighting. Maybe Hamilton has some kind of problem or something. So we're gonna move on to lap number 12, the second last lap. And what do we see here? We see two Mercedes in front of us. So the Mercedes are 2 and 3, which can only mean one thing, that Massa's in the lead. And I'm pretty sure he's quite ahead of the Mercedes. So I think he might actually be able to win this. But who knows what happens. And as we see, Palmer is actually fifth in the Renault. Interesting. This race has been really, really interesting up until now. So now we're gonna see if we can actually try and overtake Rosberg. Probably not, but we'll try. So now we are gonna move on to the last lap of the Grand Prix, and Alonso is right up our gearbox. And look, Massa has just won, and that was actually not Alonso, that was Ericsson, but whatever. But Massa has just won the Russian Grand Prix in a Williams, and he's much, much, much ahead of all the Mercs and us basically. And Ericsson is lapped car. He's trying to unlap himself, and I'm so surprised by Felipe Massa winning that Alonso comes on the outside and overtakes us. So we are back into P5. If we came in P4, that would be our best ever finish in this season until now. And now Button is coming and he makes contact with us. We have to go wide, but we'll defend our position till the end and we'll cross the line to come home in fifth place. But what a race! Massa just has won the Russian Grand Prix. I am actually speechless. How has he just done this? He has overtaken both Mercs. He started 10th on the grid and he's just won. He's almost a minute faster than the second car, which is Hamilton. Oh, what a race! So many surprises. And Palmer in the Renault, he started third last and he has moved up into P7. And Ricardo, he started third but couldn't even come in the top 7. So what is happening to the Red Bull of Ricardo? And we see Bottas is in 10th place, so he only got 1 point, and we got 10 points. So we still extended the gap, but that's not it, because in the constructors, Williams has actually overtaken us, or they were actually behind us. I'm not sure because Massa has scored 25 points in the Williams. I mean, he used to drive for Ferrari, so he's a good driver. But winning in a Williams, I mean, in recent years, is quite a big deal. Even in 2016, they weren't as good as they were in their prime. So, definitely a surprise. But that means that he's up into fifth place ahead of Verstappen, ahead of us, and his teammate. So, in the Drivers' Championship, Massa has just made a huge, what do you say, climb. And Ricardo, Red Bull are not looking too good for this season because Williams are now third in the constructors. They have jumped Red Bull, us, and I think even Force India. I'm sure, pretty sure. That means that they're not in the fight for the top spot in the midfield, but they are now fighting the teams such as Ferrari and Mercedes. So now what can I say? I mean, we are down to fifth place in the constructors. No, sixth place in the constructors. Sorry. So I have to end this video here. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, like this video if you enjoyed, and I'll be seeing you in the next video. Peace.